Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we are on Module 3, Lesson 10, and we are just continuing multiplying fractions and cross-canceling or simplifying when possible. So remember, we can only multiply a fraction times a fraction. So we're going to get going. I'm going to do a few for you. So before I get started, I want to see if I could do any simplifying before. And I see that 3 can fit into both of those. So 3 can fit into 9 3 times, and 3 can fit into 3 one time. And that one, I could say 2 could fit into both of them one time. So my answer is 3 over 1, which is 3 wholes. Okay, my next one, I look at 6 and 7. There's no factor for both that can fit into both of them. They don't have a common factor other than 1. So there's nothing I can do on that side. What about on this side? What's a factor for 12 and 15 is 3. So 3 times 4 is 12, and 3 times 5 is 15. So I simplified the best I could, and now I'm ready to multiply straight across. So 5 times 6 is 30, and 7 times 4 is 28. And this is a greater than 1 fraction because my numerator is larger. Okay, 3 cannot make any groups of 28, but 30 can make one group of 28 with 2 left over. So I have 1 whole with 2 left over, and my denominator is 28. Now, some of you might have started to see that we can divide this by the GCF, so I get 1 whole and 1 14th. So either answer 1 and 2 28ths or 1 and 1 14th would work. Okay, on my next one, if I look at 7 and 14, I see that 7 is the factor of both of them, the greatest common factor. So 7 times 1 is 7, and 7 times 2 is 14. And for 8 and 6, they're both even, so I know 2 will work. So 2 times 3 is 6, and 2 times 4 is 8. So now I can multiply 4 times 1, and 2 times 3 is 6. Okay, this is already less than 1, so I don't need to do in and out. I could divide them each by 2 and get 2/3. So 4/6 is equal to 2/3. So both of those answers would work. Okay, for my next one, 5 and 18. I know there's no common factor for those because 19 is a prime number, and 1 and 11 I know will not work either because 11 is also a prime number. So I'm going to multiply straight across and say 1 times 19 and 5 times 55. Well, I know that this is already less than 1, so I'm not going to use in and out. And I know that 19 is prime and it's not a factor of this. So that is the best I can do for number 4. Okay, let's do some together. So for this one, let's look at 4 and 18. So they're both even. So I know 2 is definitely a factor, but is maybe 4 a factor? No. So 2 is my greatest common factor. So 2 times 2 is 4, and 2 times 9 is 18. So that helped make my problem a little simpler. So we can do 5 times 2 is 10, and 9 times 9 is 81. Okay, this is already less than 1 fraction. Its value is less than 1, and we cannot simplify this problem at all. So we are good to go. Okay, let's check our next one and see if we can simplify. We cannot, and we can't either. So we just have to multiply straight across. So I'm getting 11 times 7 is 77, and 6 times 5 is 30. Okay, this is a greater than 1 fraction. So let's use in and out to help us. Okay, if I have 7, I can make 0 groups of 30, which is 0. If I have 77, I can make 2 groups of 30, which would be 60, with 17 left over. So we have 2 groups of 30 with 17 left over, and our denominator stays the same. So both of those would be correct answers. Okay, let's do 2 more. Okay, so let's see, especially because these are large, see if we can make them any smaller and simpler. That one I can't, and that one I can't. So we're just going to have to do it. So 6 times 13, if you can't do that in your head, we can find some space and work it out. I'm sorry, yeah, 6 times 13. So I get 6 times 3 is 18. 6 times 1 is 6. So I'm saying that is 78. And 7 times 7 is 49. And it is a greater than 1 fraction. So we have to use our little in and out trick to help us. So if I have 7, I can make 0 groups of 49. And if I have 78, well, I know I can only make 1 group because 2 groups of 50 would be 100. So I can only do 1 group of 49. And I am getting 29 left over. So 1 group and 29 left over, and my denominator stays the same. Okay, our last one, let's look at 3 and 15. I know 3 is a factor of both of them. So 3 times 1 is 3, and 3 times 5 is 15. Okay, 14 and 20. Well, they're both even, so 2 would work. Is there anything larger? Let's see, 1 times 14. 2 times 7 doesn't work. 3, nothing. 4, nothing. 5 doesn't work. 6 does. Okay, so those are my only factors. So 14 doesn't work, 7, so 2 is our GCF. So 2 times 7 and 2 times 10. So we are getting 7 times 1 is 7, and 5 times 10 is 50. And that is our answer. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, your homework tonight is to do the back half. You have 8 problems. Try to simplify when possible. Have a great night.